After my most recent breakup, I had no choice but to move back in with my family. It wasn't what I had planned for myself, especially in my 20s. My ex and I were living together in an apartment we rented in Boston. A word of advice for anyone out there: never sign a lease with someone you just started dating. It might seem like a good idea at the time, but trust me, you don't truly know someone until you've lived with them. It didn't take long for me to realize he wasn't the person I thought he was. Let's just say things unraveled fast, and when the relationship ended, I had no choice but to move out. My parents live in Western Massachusetts, so that's where I ended up. If you've ever been to Massachusetts, you know the further west you go, the more rural it gets. And let me tell you, I am not a country girl. I thrive in the energy of a city, being surrounded by people, places, and opportunities. That's where I feel alive. But here, my parents' area is the complete opposite. It's quiet, too quiet, and for someone my age, it's painfully boring. The kind of boring where you count the days until something changes. Right now, my goal is to save up and find an apartment I can afford on my own. But I'll be steering clear of Boston for reasons. Until then, I've gone back to working at the urgent care facility I used to work at before I moved. They were thrilled to have me back, even if it's only temporary. But there's a catch. I'm stuck with the overnight shifts. The overnight hours are easy, but isolating. The stillness of the night makes the time drag, and the shifts completely ruin my sleep schedule. I try to keep a sense of normalcy by treating myself to dinner after my shifts, even though it's often closer to 4:30 a.m. One morning, after a long shift, I decided to stop at a bagel shop that had just opened. They serve more than bagels, so I grabbed a chicken sandwich and a salad to eat at home. Before heading back, I stopped at the local Shell station for gas. It's one of the few places open at that hour, and the parking lot is enormous. But it's also eerily empty most of the time. Even during the day, I paid inside to save a little cash, and when I came back out, I noticed another car, a blue sedan, had pulled up to one of the pumps. The driver got out as I started fueling my car. He locked his nozzle in place so the gas would pump automatically, and then, to my surprise, he walked over to me. "Want to see a funny trick?" he asked. I hated the interaction immediately, but I didn't want to be rude. "What trick?" I asked hesitantly. He proceeded to do the oldest, dumbest trick in the book, the one where you pretend to pull your finger off. He kept looking at me with this weird, sarcastic expression as if he knew how stupid it was but didn't care. I fake laughed, hoping he'd go away, but he didn't. Even after I turned away, he stayed there, repeating the trick like some kind of creep. The moment my gas tank clicked full, I was relieved. I latched the nozzle back and hurried inside to get my change. When I came out, the man was gone, but his car was still there, the nozzle still pumping gas. I didn't stick around to figure out where he went. I got in my car, the back seat out of paranoia, and locked the doors before driving home. When I arrived home, I grabbed the spare key my parents kept hidden, let myself in, and re-hid it. I locked the door behind me and went straight to the kitchen to eat. I was being as quiet as possible to avoid waking my parents. As I sat at the table, about to take my first bite, I heard the front door unlock. The door opened and closed softly, but no one announced themselves. My stomach dropped. "Mom? Dad?" I called out, but there was no answer. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. I crept to the foyer, but no one was there. Panicked, I ran upstairs to my parents' room and barged in. They both woke up, startled. "There's someone in the house," I whispered urgently. My dad jumped out of bed, grabbing a bat he kept by the door. My mom and I followed as he turned on every light in the house, checking each room methodically. When he checked the spot where the spare key was hidden, it was gone. My mom was horrified and furious. "You didn't check your surroundings before hiding it again, did you?" she hissed. Feeling guilty and terrified, I stayed close to my dad as he continued his search. When he moved on to my brother's old room, I stayed behind, deciding to check the spots I thought he might have missed. I didn't expect to find anything. I looked under the bed, nothing. I opened the closet, empty. Relieved, I went back downstairs. My dad was in the basement, and my mom stayed in the living room. I wandered into the dining room, which is next to the foyer. That's when I saw it. Under the dining table, crouched like an animal, was the man from the gas station. My breath caught in my throat. I screamed as loud as I could. My mom screamed in response. My dad came rushing up the stairs, but before he could get to us, the man crawled out and lunged at him. The three of us fought him with everything we had. My dad, though older, refused to let go of him, and my mom and I hit and clawed at him until he finally broke free and ran out the front door. We called the police immediately. They arrived quickly, but by then, the man was long gone. He still had the spare key, so my dad stayed up all night, wedging a chair under the front door. The next day, we changed the locks, and my parents swore never to hide a key outside again. I felt so guilty for bringing that danger into our home. I kept replaying the encounter at the gas station, wondering how I didn't notice him following me. It's a lesson I'll never forget, and another reason I'm more determined than ever to leave this place.